selecting who they want to play. Now, let me explain how this is going to go. The team with the best record will get a bye in each league. So based on last year's American League standings, the Astros would get a bye. The Yankees and the Twins, the other division winners, would get in, as would the Oakland Athletics, who had the best wild card record. Now, the teams below Oakland, Boston, Tampa, and Cleveland would be in because they have wild cards. So the team with the best record, the Astros, gets a bye. The Yankees then, on national television, would get to select their opponent. No more one-game playoff. They want to do like a best of three for this round. Mm-hmm. So the Yankees might sit there and say, Boston, by wins and losses, because that's the way it was last year, would be our best matchup. But do we really want to play the Red Sox again? You know what? We'll play the Cleveland Indians. And it's going to be it's going to be televised. I think it's a cool idea. I don't think it'll ever happen, though.
Why?
Because I don't think the players are going to go for it. Because the players, not until they get the next collective bargaining thing done. I think it's.
But this isn't really something that players would argue. I mean, this wouldn't be a huge bone of. I mean, they'd much.
I don't know. I saw Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer is an idiot. I mean, come on.
He said anything Rob Manfred's doing, basically, he doesn't know anything about baseball.
Yeah.
Look, I like the playoffs the way they are. I hated the one-game playoff, but actually, for the most part, they've usually been pretty compelling games. And you know what? If it gives another team or a few teams a chance to make the playoffs, that means you have less tankathon games as the season progresses. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, I mean, look, I don't. At first blush, I think it sounds incredibly stupid. Yeah. I really do. I think the whole choose your own opponent sounds really dumb. It's like, no, you play the whole season to set these matchups. It'd be like if you set the NCAA tournament field and say, Duke, who do you want to play in the first round? Austin P. Great, that's the first round game.
Well, they basically get that anyway, so what's the difference?
No, they get seeded. They actually are.
I know,
you are told who you play.
I know.
You don't get to pick.
I understand that.
So what do you mean they basically get it anyway?
Well, Duke gets an easy game anyway, whether they pick it or not.
Right, that's my point. Okay. So the 1 seed gets a bye, and the 2 seed plays the 6 seed, and so on and so forth.
It just brings some drama to it, though. I mean, I think it's stupid as well, but I don't know, to watch it on television would be pretty interesting.
Nobody would watch it because you know why? It'd be going up against Sunday Night Football. And everyone's going to watch football over this stupid selection process.
Well, that's a good
They'll
point.
wait and see online the next day who so-and-so is playing. So they're competing with football. Baseball just continues to dance around the larger issue. And I know Manfred talks about it all the time. Nobody wants to watch their games. Okay? Regionally, yes. Nationally, no. The games get longer and longer, and they do nothing to change that. No one's going to watch between April and September. And if the team is still in contention in September, and now that there's more teams in contention, yes, that increases the amount of teams that people are going to watch. But it still doesn't change the overall problem, which is people think the game is boring. People think the game drags. People think the game takes too long. They put in a pitch clock. No, we can't put in a pitch clock. So they put in between innings clock. Now they're going to try this thing with the relief pitchers this year where they have to face a certain number of batters. So they are trying at least. But to me, this screams of gimmickry. And all it does is just add a little bit more attention to the postseason, which in my mind already gets a lot of attention.
You could argue the baseball postseason is the best of them all anyway. Because the games are great.
I like it, but nobody else does.
I know. Hockey, I love it's another sport.
You like it, nobody else does. The football postseason is the best because everybody watches
right.
it.
Right, because everybody watches football.
Yeah.
I just think the craft of the game being taken away has really hurt the game.
I agree.
Do. You know, the stealing bases. You know, it's all about you strike out or you hit a home run.
Right.
That's the goal right now for a batter, it seems like.
I agree.
And there's no keeping a guy on base. And I don't know. It's just.
It's boring. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's a boring game. And if there are times when, like on a Friday night where I know I can stay up late and I'm watching a game where if it's 2-1 in the 8th inning, I'm almost rooting for the team not to score because I know if it gets to be 2-2, I'm in for another hour, and I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like extra innings, it just gets dull. It does, at least in hockey, you know what you have. You got a 5-minute, 4-on-4, and then you have the shootout. You know that game's going to be over relatively
soon. So you like
soon.
the idea of putting a guy on second base in
No, I think that's gimmicky too. I mean,
well, it's all gimmicky. If you want to shorten games, you have to come up with a gimmick.
The baseball's been around for over 100 years.
I know.
And the games used to be 2 hours, and now they're 3+. So clearly they've altered the way they allow the batters to
step out of the batter's box.
Step out of the batter's box. Pitchers to do all this crap they do between pitches. And, I remember when Doug Fister was a Tiger, my favorite pitcher by far, because he'd get the ball back, he'd look in, get the sign, and kick. I mean, the average game time for him versus, Porcello is like night and day.
But I was listening to 1 week Dickerson and Caputo on Inside Tiger Town, and Dan Dickerson brought out the point. He says the reason the games are longer is because the commercial breaks are longer. The actual playing isn't as slow as you think it is.
I disagree.
Because he said the average game, I don't know, in the 70s or whatever, let's say it was 227. Now it's maybe 255. But
no, it was up above 3 hours last year.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, my point is that you're doubling 18 breaks. That's 18 minutes right there. It used to be a minute between half innings. Now they're 2 minutes.
Well, there used to be a lot of games that weren't on TV. So
Right.
That's going to affect those numbers significantly,
Yes, exactly.
Unless those are just TV-only numbers.
No.
But, we had as little ago. Remember, Greg Maddux 156 was the length of the game he pitched at one time. I mean, everybody remembers it.
But he was.
It wasn't that. It was a pretty boring game.
But he was an all-timer. I mean, he was one of the best ever. Doug Fister wasn't one of the best ever. But, man, that guy just dealt. He was a fast-working pitcher.
I just feel like baseball, if there's one sport that could – let's face it, hockey has gotten less popular since we've been doing this for a living.
Sure.
Just the NHL and what went away, the physical nature and the fighting. Those are the things that made it special. Baseball's, stealing bases. I love it, and it's just not part of the game anymore. Bunting really isn't part of the game anymore. It's all based on these stupid numbers. It's all become scientific, and to most people, that's boring. I still can't explain war. I don't want to learn how to explain war because I think war is stupid. The best player allegedly ever to play the game is Mike Trout. Where's your wins, baby? Because that's what I'm in it for, winning. I'm not in it I put up all these perfect numbers across the board. Mike Trout's not the best baseball player ever. Period. He's not.
Well, war is supposed to represent winning, wins above replacement. So that's
where's it at?
Well, it's not in the playoffs. That's for damn sure.
Well, no,
they don't even make it.
I know.
It's because he's got 8 other players who have a negative war.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Mike Trout himself is a fantastic baseball player. He just isn't surrounded by guys who hold up their end of the bargain. That's the problem.
And he's on the West Coast, which hurts.
Well, that has nothing to do with winning.
Right.
Yeah, he's still allowed to win on the West Coast, I think.
No.
248-539-9797 is the telephone number, the ticket